So let's get off our tour bus and have a look inside the Tower of London. It's one of the greatest castles in the world. It's an amazing structure. The Tower of London is a must for anybody interested in history and medieval castles. The White Tower is the oldest building of the castle and has a spectacular multi-level display that has just been completed, featuring suits of armor and historic weapons with informative signs and video displays. And it's an easy walk, a flight down back to the main floor. And then we took a little boat cruise from the Tower of London into the Westminster Pier. This is a nice view of the Tate Gallery. That's the Tate Modern Art Museum. The boat tour is a nice perk of taking the bus tour because it's all part of that same ticket. You have a hop-on, hop-off bus and then this beautiful boat ride. Views of the Houses of Parliament. There's Big Ben up there, the Westminster Clock Tower, and Parliament as we glide along on the River Thames. It's about a half an hour boat ride, passing downtown and St. Paul's and some of the other highlights of the city. And then you arrive at the Westminster Pier, and that's a pretty central location. For us, it's really quite easy because our hotel is just about a 12-minute walk away from that dock, so easy for us to continue on our touring as we have another walking tour of the city. Now, the really best way to see London, or any European city for that matter, is to walk through the town. And we soon arrive at Trafalgar Square. In many ways, this is the center of London. The National Gallery behind it, the great lion statues, the symbols of the country there. Next stop, Chinatown. It's a small neighborhood, just 4 square blocks, but it has about 40 Chinese restaurants and lots of Asians hanging out and shopping. Piccadilly Circus was center of the universe during the days of empire and is today a major intersection. While continuing along on the walk up Regent Street and into Mayfair, Hedon Street, a nice little pedestrian zone. The upper section of Regent Street continues to Oxford Street. It's the busiest shopping boulevard for locals, 1 mile long and loaded with 60 shoe stores, just as many clothing outlets, the huge department store Selfridges, into the most expensive shopping turf in town. On Old Bond Street, the exclusive shops on Old Bond include Tiffany, Bulgari, Pate Philippe, George Jensen, Asprey, and 4 dozen more just in the first 3 blocks alone. Stop for a photo at that funny statue of Churchill and FDR sitting on a wooden bench. There's a little room for you to squeeze in between them and sit down on the bench in the middle, perhaps whisper some tips in their ear, or you can sit on their lap. The Burlington Arcade is just 1 block long and has 40 small shops with exquisite, expensive merchandise. Take some time for a thorough visit to a very special food store across the street, Fortnum and Mason. It was founded 300 years ago and is going strong in their recently expanded department store. So take at least half an hour to buy something that says Fortnum and Mason on it. Makes a nice present for those less fortunate back home. Just behind Fortnum and Mason, you'll find Jermyn Street with a couple of aromatic interiors worthy of a sniff. Floris for soaps and perfumes, and then Paxton and Whitfield's with 300 different kinds of cheese on offer. You can smell a couple of divine odoriferous centuries in there. To St. James Square. This is typical of the little green pocket parks that are scattered throughout the heart of London. Now pass through the park to the other side and continue to Pall Mall, a large fancy street lined with gentlemen's clubs. This will lead you over a couple of blocks to St. James Palace and the first phase of changing the guard. And a quick photo op by one of the many soldiers guarding the palaces in London. The pomp and circumstance of this ritual is great fun, with the redcoat soldiers in their tall black hats parading to the bouncy rhythm of a marching brass band. And you want to get to St. James Palace at 11:10 a.m. That's 10 minutes past 11. And wait along the curb on Marlborough Road for the first phase. There'll probably already be a small crowd there, so just walk along the block until you're able to find a clearing and stand right at the curb, which will give you an unobstructed view. In a few minutes, the guards will emerge with a small band. The small squad of soldiers and a marching band will walk past you quickly, so have your camera ready for the shot and get that nice palace in the background. Standing on the curb, you'll have an unobstructed view, but don't stand in the street because the mounted police officers will ride along and push you back. And don't stand further back in the sidewalk because your view might be blocked. So you want to be standing right there on the curb. And then you want to catch the next phase by walking across St. James Park and find another clear spot by the curb for a good view. In a few minutes, the troops will come marching by in all their glory with the big band sounding off wonderfully and then disappearing behind the palace gates. That's it for the main event, but you can also catch the impressive mounted guards coming through if you walk to the right along the curved path behind the flower beds to the mall, and in a few minutes the soldiers will ride by on their big black horses coming up the mall, where you get a perfect view of Buckingham Palace. And a nice activity after changing the guards is a stroll through St. James's Park. This pelican looks like he's going to eat us. Friendly guy, though. There's all sorts of birds. It's a bird refuge in St. James's Park. As we continue along, we have some more things to see in this final afternoon. Heading towards Covent Garden, one of the beautiful magnets of activity in town. There is no garden at Covent Garden, but you will find many attractions that could turn this into your favorite part of town, because it is filled with unique shops, numerous restaurants, lots of sidewalk entertainment, marvelous buildings, and vast pedestrian zones filled with people. And from Covent Garden, we cross right over into Soho and then Chinatown, just wrapping up our visit to England, our tour of Europe, with some more quick highlights of the city as we make our way back through Leicester Square and then back through Trafalgar Square. We're heading to our hotel to get ready to leave. We're heading for the airport. This trip is drawing to a close. A grand view of Trafalgar Square, and our hotel is just one block away.